Coming up on this episode of The Brain Drain Show.
You're a turd, Tony Chief. You. Choke slammed him through a table. Yeah, man, massive in Japan because they're also small. But so I got really into freestyle. Someone said you look like Joxa the Mighty from Xena Warrior Princess. So I'm a massive nerd, so you can probably tell. Frocker was the best, man. He's the happiest goth in the world. He's proper goth. He's well more goth than you guys. There was like a baby, not a real baby, Christ. Like a doll, like nailed to the ceiling.
So apparently you can do good Craig Questions impressions.
What are you on about? Oh, you want to play a game of red, not red? And then like Phelps sort of clocks us like, hey, Trujillo's like, punched him right in the chest. And he was like, whoa! And then I find out where the green room is. Dear man's in Coventry. Like, why? And nobody tells you that when he takes off the balaclava, he just becomes part of the shadow realm. Do you think about Aztec paedophilia? Like, where's that even come from?
Good evening and welcome to another great episode of The Brain Drain Show with me, Forde Brookfield. Joined to my left is probably the guy that now I can't live without. It's Toby Batchelor.
Toby Batchelor.
It's Toby Batchelor, and a very special episode. Joined to our left, I think he's probably drank more tea than any professional skateboarder in the world. Do you want to introduce the guest?
It's Joxa.
Round of applause into the audience, please.
Hello.
Run us through the. Actually, before we start, can I have a cup of tea, please?
Yeah, of course, man.
Let's get a...
I'm just going to take these goggles off and all. Just want to put them on for a bit of a shock value.
shock value.
No, that's part of the uniform for Lost Savages, so I hope you want to talk about that. So
we
need to promote the band as much as possible, you know.
Get me in there. Look at that.
Some more gigs.
That is a finest.
Death Star as well. This is a proper cottage.
Take a seat. Take a seat.
Thank you.
Do you want some cow juice?
Talk us through the pot. Where did you get the pot from? What's the name of the pot?
This is the Death Star.
Why is that?
Because it's massive and there's only one way to destroy it. You have to go through this little hole here, and it'll explode.
Have you ever put anything in that part of the hole?
Just tea. Yeah.
Oh,
do you want to put something in that hole? Are you coming onto the Death Star?
Yeah, sounds like it.
That's a great cup of tea.
Yeah, man, the Death Star delivers.
We were talking earlier about how many cups of tea you drink a day. What are you up to at the minute?
Well, I went to work this morning. I had my morning 2 cups.
2 cups? Is that back to back?
Yeah, back to back. And to be fair, I'm a bit lazy. My girlfriend brings me one in bed to get me out.
Oh, nice.
So I have a cup of tea in bed, and I get one as soon as I finish that one. As soon as I get into work, before anything, have another brew.
Yeah.
Smash that. 8:30, have another brew.
So you're on
Smash
3
that.
before 9 a.m.
Oh yeah, man, every day. And then it's probably one every hour up until I go home. And then as soon as I get in the house, kettle straight on, get the slippers on, get Teletubbies on the telly, you know.
Nice.
Cup of tea with Teletubbies. Need my wine down for a bit. Need to learn my colours and my numbers. I drink a lot, man. Like, it's a problem. I can't afford it.
When did the tea addiction start?
As soon as I came out of the womb, just a northern thing.
Straight away.
I was given a cup of tea as a congratulations for entering the world.
Oh, okay.
What slippers you got?
Slippers. I actually have a lovely pair of M&S moccasins.
Nice.
Oh, yes, they're
I'm
nice
always
and
curious
comfy.
about what slippers people have.
I would love to make some national crust slippers. So that's a plan for the future. I'm just trying to figure it all out for now.
Mike did Groans Brigade slippers, didn't he?
Yeah, but they were like
Yeah, they were real basic ones.
they were
weren't
like hospital slippers.
Yeah, but I mean, but they had groans on them, didn't they? So
Joxa, do
Yes.
you mind pouring me another cup?
Why are you finishing?
you had one already.
I've smashed through
Nutter.
one. Yeah.
Oh, we're
smashed.
on one tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna get.
It's going to be a how long can you hold your piss in challenge now, isn't it?
Yeah, Mad Hatter as well at some point.
What are we-
places. And then you'll
What
be
are we,
over here, be like asking you questions.
Are we playing a half game there, son? Can we top us up?
I think
Son.
might need a wee bit more because we've
Oh.
through that. I had about
I can go run the kettle again if you want.
That's good. That's good.
I'll be up all night with the caffeine in
Toilet
one,
breaks,
in one
you
cup,
know.
so.
So, Joxa,
Yes.
how have you been?
Yeah, good man. Like,
Good.
I'm just gonna have this biscuit.
No, enjoy it. Take your time.
I'm going to have a chocky up knob as well.
Yeah, help yourself.
Anyone that's listening to this episode and they're not watching it, I don't know why you wouldn't watch it when you've got such handsome guests and presenters on the show, especially Toby. But we're making fine cups of tea, drinking some tea,
Yeah,
eating
man.
some McVitie's hobnobs. Is that your go-to choice for a cup of tea? What's your biscuit?
man.
And
Yeah, I
have you
love a
noticed the
love-
biscuit inflation tax?
I love a
Yeah,
chocolate
we spoke
hobnob.
about that quite a
Yeah.
bit. They've really gone up, haven't they?
Generally go for an Aldi's own chocolate hobnob.
Yeah.
70p or something, you know.
What do
Budget
they call
choice.
them?
They probably call them like
God.
the Aldi's essential tea.
Orties, chocolate Orties. Yeah.
Are you enjoying that?
Yeah.
that
They're good,
biscuit then?
man. But I'm always, I like all sorts of cakes and treats.
Yeah.
You got a sweet tooth.
I've got a very sweet, well, I've got a lot of teeth missing. I need to get some removed. Yeah, but I've got a sweet tooth, man. So like Pig Dog. Pig Dog.
Yeah, big up Pig Dog.
Before I got
Big up.
Instagram, yeah, I love Pig Dog, man. He's amazing. Before I got Instagram, I used to hashtag everything as Joxa scones because me and Slasher Sam figured out that you could make shitloads of scones for like next to nothing. So we'd wake up on a Sunday morning, bake a load of scones, and then cycle to Bath Skate Park, and then just have a picnic with like tea and scones. And then people are like, "What's this?" And we'd be like, "Come on over, join us!" Like, it's wicked, man. Like, yeah, it's good fun. Everyone should just bring a little sweet treat to the skate park. Everyone should get into
Yeah.
baking.
I can get down with that.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's a good skill.
Probably make me actually want to go to the skate park.
Yeah,
now, if
it's
Joxa
well
was
kid,
there
man.
with a sweet treat.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
when you were downstairs, Joxa said he's got a
A picnic basket.
he's
in the
got a
car.
picnic basket in the car. What have you got in your basket? What's in the basket,
cups,
Joxa?
plates, knives and forks, a little blanket to spray down. I've got a bunch of spices. I enjoy my cooking, so I can make a curry at any point on the road.
Talk to me about curry. What's your favourite?
I like a danzak, man.
Yeah.
I like a danzak, lamb danzak, or I do like a just like a nice vegetable curry.
Are you vegetarian?
No, I'll eat pretty much anything. I don't really like tinned tuna or seafood.
Right.
Not a big fan of seafood, which was a problem in Japan. But you know,
We'll get into that.
yeah,
We'll
we'll get into that.
What's
Jumping
one of
forward.
your go-to spices?
Garam
This is fucking brilliant stuff, isn't it?
garam masala.
Nice.
Or a mix: turmeric, garam masala, coriander, cumin. Whack it in there.
Sometimes it's just nice to throw a bit of everything on there, not it?
You've had one of my curries.
Yeah, we'll get on to that.
We'll
as
get
well.
onto that. We've got
'Cause
loads of stuff to get onto.
a very special guest had one of those curries
He
too.
did, or
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah, they.
What are they?
Yeah,
Mm,
an entity.
an entity.
Let's
Shall we start the podcast?
Yeah. That was a good intro. I
That
like
was good. That was
Um,
probably one of my favourite intros. Top 10 intros.
Oh, you too kind.
You're from way up north, aren't you? Whereabouts are you from?
I'm originally from Barrow-in-Furness,
Yeah.
which is on the peninsula of Cumbria, the
Yeah.
Furness Peninsula. Although, if you were born before 1974, it was part of Lancashire. Just putting that in there for the trogs that don't like change.
Yeah.
It's a funny place, isn't it? Because it's kind of a bit cut off from everywhere. Cause
It's very cut off. Yeah.
You have to go round, don't you, to get there?
It's a one road in, one road out sort of place. There's no reason to visit Barrow unless you have to go there. And
I've definitely been there, but I can't remember.
you'd remember if you actually went there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not much going on there, is there?
There's not a lot there. It's a shipbuilding town. They build submarines as well. You can actually see nuclear submarines.
I was
going to
say, is that where they build the nuclear ones?
Yeah. And also you've got Sellafield up the coast there. So when the nuclear submarines go wrong, they ship them up on the trains in secrecy up the coast to the Sellafield nuclear holding site. So all that stuff is all nuclear waste that's just rotting away, and it's a massive danger zone, really. But yeah, Barrow's not a lot going on there. It's had its problems. I always say it's the best at the worst things, you know. So if you've got drug problems, teenage pregnancies, alcohol issues, Barrow's top of the list, you know.
Yeah.
Like we're the best at being pissed and smashing drugs. But it's next to the lakes. It's quite nice. It's definitely chilled out over the years. I've still got family up there. I visit regularly. And the skate scene now, I don't really know too much about it, but there's a Barrow-cult, which is being run by...
I follow Barrow-cult.
Yeah, it's being run by a guy, Kieran, who's part of the Mash Life crew.
Mash Life crew, yeah.
Great bunch of lads.
Did you start skating there?
I did, yeah. I started when I was 15 years old,
What year was that?
2001.
Wow.
What got you into skateboarding? What was the inspiration?
So I'm a massive nerd, so you can probably tell. So before skating, I was massively into Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer, and
So you like a little bit of synth music as well?
I love synth music. Yeah.
I've got some good artists to show you.
Sick, man. I'm still a massive fan of Ultravox as well, stuff like that. And then I was into video games, and then Pokemon came about. And before then, I was starting to watch like a bit of anime. Pokemon came about. I was like, this is amazing. So, everyone was into fucking Pokemon. And then the friends I hung about with, try to catch them all. They got a skateboard. And then it was like, oh, you have to get a skateboard now. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. Got a skateboard. It was a Hudson Complete. Do you remember those?
I remember the Hudson Complete.
They were just proper cheapo boards.
Was that by Jesse Thomas's stepfather? I don't know. Chris Hudson Complete.
Oh, those ones, yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
with the logo on the grip tape.
Yeah. It just said Hood.
Yeah, that was
HUD.
I think I got one from Asda.
Yeah,
years ago.
I got it from a kid at school who he'd started skating and wasn't into it, and I think gave him a $5, nothing, and then jumped on it, and I was just hooked straight away. And I just remember just rolling down the hill and being like, "This is."
It's mad, isn't it? How some people, when the first time you see skating, it is like ticks the box straight away. It's like that's what I am now.
Yeah,
because I had that with it. It was like as soon as I saw it, I was like, here we go.
Yeah.
I think I got into it by seeing, I think I went with one of my older brothers as he got a tattoo, and there was a skateboard on the wall, but it wasn't just a deck, it was a complete skateboard hung up. And I can vividly remember saying to my mum, like, I want one of those.
Yeah, it's
And
weird
that's
how
as
it
easy-
just appeals.
I think that was just, then I got into the Hawk games maybe, or maybe it was around the same time on a chipped PlayStation 1
Nice.
off a guy off the estate.
Yeah.
People don't realise how easy they've got it now.
Yeah.
Chipped PlayStation 1.
How did you chip a PS1?
I don't know, but I don't know how they did it, but if you had a chip PlayStation 1, it allowed you to play games that were burnt to like DVDs and stuff.
Yeah, I seem to remember something about having one of those that like the cover had to be open, but you tricked it into thinking it was closed.
For it to work, so you had to hold the button down. Yeah. Kids got it easy now.
They haven't they? They don't know. They're born, do they?
Yeah.
So 2001 you started skating on
Yeah.
but when did you become aware of skateboarding, like more than just a beginner's complete kind of job? And
man.
did you see magazines and stuff like that?
Because internet was very primal at the time, so you had to have a DVD or a game.
Flash cartoons and hamster in a microwave stuff. You remember
Yeah.
that? So we got the boards, and then again, we all had video games. I was massively into Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, so was my brother,
Brilliant.
and I delete. Is that the one that was a 4-disc?
Yeah. 3 discs. Yeah.
My brother got right to the end of one, and I erased his delete.
Oh,
and he
man.
absolutely beat
I used-
the shit out
You
of me.
erased his delete.
Yeah,
I used to have the.
I deleted
master
his
copy.
game progress. Sorry.
Yeah, I used to have a master copy that I'd sell to kids in school. I'd be like, "You can get to the last boss. You have to pay me £1, and I'll copy it across." But yeah, I had a PlayStation, and then Tony Hawk's came out. Probably when did that even come out? Like
1999 was the first.
Yeah, so I think I got.
Is that when you did the
given a copy.
900? When did Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 come out?
I'm gonna guess 99. Yeah.
Yeah,
He timed that well then, because that was when he did the 900. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
so it was.
Yeah.
He basically he probably held back on the 900, didn't he, to help market
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
We'll start that rumour.
So got that, and
He'd
then
done it before.
you play that, and you. Like, this is amazing, but then it's at the end if you completed bits and you see little video clips of the skaters,
yeah.
and you'd be like, "Well, this is real." Like I always remember So when I first started skating, in front of my house was like a shitty basketball court, a tiny hill and a curb. So every night I'd go out there, and I watched a little clip of Rodney Mullen, and I was like, "Yeah, I want to be that guy," because he's doing loads of crazy stuff. Like, so I got there and tried rail stands and pogos and all that. So I got really into freestyle to start off with.
Yeah.
And then my friends lived a bit further out of town, because I lived right in the town centre of Barrow. Not that it's massive, but kids, no one drove or anything. So they'd come in, and we'd sometimes go into town and skate like the multi-story car park or whatever. But then if I couldn't skate with them, I'd be out of my house like pogoing the out of this board, like hopping around like a maniac. Just try to figure it all out, like doing like handstand flips and stuff. Like I loved it, man. It was amazing. And then I met some older guys, and they kind of pushed me.
under their wing.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll have to give them guys a shout. I'll probably talk about them a lot, actually. So that was Ian, who's known as the Melon, and he's a bit of a legend.
The melon.
The melon.
Why?
So just as I started, there was an article in Sidewalk, and they went to the lakes, and Ian came out and he had like a frontside board slide on a handrail, which is pretty sick back then. He's like proper punk, like cut off shorts, like knackered rancid t-shirt, backwards mesh hat, which was filthy, slip-on Vans checkerboard. But then he had another picture inside the shack, which is like, if you were a skater from like the late 80s, early 90s, you probably heard of the shack, especially up north. And it was said, like, the caption was like, Ian Mellon's a dirty spine in the new shack. And then some kid came up to him one day and was like, "Are you the melon?" And he was like, "Yeah." And that was it. Like, so he was always referred to as the melon.
It's funny how nicknames come
and
about like that.
he honestly, man, he was like that classic consolidated anti-hero style. And then there was Anthony, who's the smell. And then there was Steve, who was called Zorro because he used to have a graffiti tag where he did big Z's around Barrow. So those are the guys who I started hanging out with, and they're a bit older than me, properly took me under the wing, started getting me to do other things other than stationary flat ground stuff. Although I think they just laughed at me when I did that. It was one of those sort of things where they'd be like, "Do this, Steve," and I'd be like, "Oh, right, okay." And if I didn't land it, they'd just like, "What are you doing? Do or die, no bails." I'd be like, "All right," and they just make me try stuff, and I just eat all the time.
I don't think you hear that anymore at skate
No,
parks.
you don't. You don't.
And everyone's like, "You've got this."
But it was just
but then it was just like, keep playing it.
Yeah, and it was just that was how it was,
isn't it?
And then you'd like come away battered, but then you'd sometimes get the trick. So yeah, but they weren't horrible people. They just loved skating, like, and I think they just found it funny that there was this 15, 16-year-old kid with bright pink hair at the time. Like, they'd be like, "Try that," and I'd be like, "Oh, all right," and then like just eat, and he'd be like, "Do it again." Like, "Oh, no." Going home, and Mum's like, "What have you been up to?" Like, covered in blood and
Some
scabs and stuff.
24-year-olds just battered me.
So those guys had all nicknames and stuff. So is that how your nickname came about around that time? Or?
So
where did Joxa come from?
Because
that is such a really good nickname.
Joxa came from the castles, the castles and the mysteries.
Because for anyone listening, your full name is
Stephen Delves or Stephen Anthony Delves.
So it's not even like
Skate and Destroy.
It's not even like there's a hint of a nickname possible for Joxa being in there.
Some people thought it was my real name for a bit, like Joxa.
I think I probably did for a long time.
But no, again, Dungeons and Dragons Club. Someone said you look like Joxa the Mighty from Xena the Warrior Princess, and then I did a character and they just put Joxa and they put Joxa. But then outside of Dungeons and Dragons, everyone would call me Joxa. And then in school, people would be like, Joxa. And then I went on the Sidewalk Forum. I was big on that. N26.
I missed the...
Oh, big
N26. N20, yeah, big it up, man. That's where we first
there was loads of them
interacted.
Here at the Volterol.
Yeah, I wanted to come to that. I had other shit on. I couldn't make it,
yeah, it's quite funny. Like, there was a lot of them there.
Yeah.
I missed the Sidewalk Forum.
It was great. Like, so on the Sidewalk Forum, I just put the name down as Joxa. There was no... picture of Joxa. Let's see that. I wasn't trying to like be secretive or like. If I was like, I'm just on the internet. If I think something sucks, so I'm going to take the piss out of someone, I'll just do it. And then like, didn't seem to ever bother anyone because then they'd see me like, "Oh, I saw what you said about this," and then it'd just be fine. Like, I seem to always get away with it. Like
when I went on a first proper session with questions, when I saved him for like 4 or so days, he was like, "Do you remember Sidewalk Forum?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, we used to slag each other off on that." And I'm like, "Yeah, and we're here and we're on a session and it's great." Probably can't do that now. It's probably...
It was funny how active that forum was,
it was
wasn't
amazing.
it?
Yeah,
Like,
it's before all the social media.
Yeah, because I guess it was, that was how people were communicating.
It was just like-minded people. Like, everyone's into skating, taking the piss out of each other. And
that's where I found all events and everything that was going on,
events
all through the forum.
But, I mean, what was great for me is because do you remember Middle Age Shred as well?
Yeah, Middle Age Shred.
Yeah, I signed up to that as well. So if I wanted to get somewhere and I saw something, I just messaged someone like, "Oh yeah, if I get the train here, can I jump in the car with you?"
Yeah.
So that's how I met people like Rogie and Timon and that. We'd go
Big
all
up
around
Rogie.
places. Yeah,
Rogie's
you
the
should
best.
get Rogie on the show, man.
Well,
I've
maybe
seen him
we
in
need
ages.
Where does he live now?
He's on a
He's
canal
on a
boat.
canal boat, yeah.
Maybe we can do an episode with him where we spend
Trusty
the day
barge.
with Rogie and we interview him on the canal boat as he's doing his stuff.
Whereabouts is the canal boat, though?
Everywhere. He seems to be up and down everywhere.
Right.
Yeah. Wherever there's a canal.
I like the idea
find
of
Rogie.
living on a canal boat. It's probably the only thing I'll ever be able to afford.
We'll tell
to
him
buy.
to come to Derby. It might take him 3 weeks.
Yeah.
He'll get here eventually.
Yeah. How are you getting here? Well, I'm on my boat. It's going to take a while.
They're very harsh through the winter, canal boats, because all the pipes seize up. And
well, he always posts videos of his canal boat like breaking down and being on fire. It's kind of reflective of him, isn't it? Really, it's the glass jacket.
One of my ex-girlfriend, she invested some money through 2020 into Bitcoin and cashed out and made a load of money off it. And she was like, "I'm going to buy a canal boat and live on a canal boat." She just went to the bank and bought a canal boat.
Fair enough.
And I was just like, "Nice to know you. Have a good sail." And she was like, "Yep, see you soon."
I think it sounds like a nice lifestyle, doesn't it? It depends what you're doing for a job, and if you've got a family, it might be a bit more.
So I think Joxa does, I think Rogie does a lot of photography stuff, doesn't he? So he can and he drives as well. So he's probably never too far away from where he needs to get his car, unless he just rents one for the day. I'm going to come pick up a car. When do you want it set at 3? Yeah, in 3 weeks.
You can always
it takes that long.
Just romanticize that type of lifestyle, or can't you? Oh, I'm just sailing down the canals. No.
I think I definitely do it, but I'm more suited for like a house.
I'd probably just crash it. I wouldn't know how to
crash a canal.
It'd be a very slow crash. You'd be like, "Oh no, I'm going to crash in 5 hours."
And doing all the, what's it called?
Where you open the gates at certain...
Oh, the locks.
The locks,
You should go to Hatton Locks, actually. That's a lovely walk. Nice cafe as well. It's
Maybe
just down the way there, just past Coventry, in between Coventry and Stratford. Well, check it out. So go film a baghead part there.
You lived in Coventry for a while, didn't you? What was the correlation between moving from where you were to Coventry and then meeting Swampy as well? Because Swampy deserves an honourable mention.
Yeah, Swampy is amazing. So obviously grew up in a tiny town, not a lot going on. Got to the age of 18. I was working actually in Kate's Skates, if you've heard of that skate shop before.
It's still going, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it's only online. Yeah. Like, it's still in Barrow, but like, it looks well manky when you go past there. But I think they closed the shop. But I worked in the shop, which was good fun, you know, as a kid who's just like mad about skating.
They've still got a lot of old stock on their website. It makes me wonder whether or not it's actually there.
It will be.
Old heroin.
We were looking we're looking at Adio stuff on it, weren't we?
Adio stuff's on there. There's some heroin stuff on there. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, the guy that ran it.
What's his name?
Chris Palman.
Chris
Palman.
Not the Chris Pullman.
Not the Chris Pullman. No.
It is a right.
It's like his evil twin, Chris Palman.
It's a proper dingy looking building there, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, again, working there was great because now and again you'd have like Zorlak coming up. Yeah. And I'd be like, "Oh, Brad, Zorlak," and he'd always have time for you. "Oh, you skate, sick. Oh, yeah, right."
He's lovely.
I love Zorlak.
I was with him at the weekend. He's incredible.
Big up,
he's such a dude. Always helped me out as well. So thank you, Zorlak. Like, I really appreciate it.
He's helped out pretty much
everyone in the skate scene.
Yeah, and it's always just been like, "Just call me up if you need anything." It's like, "Thank you, mate."
He's like the backbone of UK skating.
Yeah. I've always got time for Nick. And then Pete Dossett would pop in sometimes because he was working for like this shoe distribution.
He was doing distribution for A4.
Yeah, and he'd like now and again he'd sling me a pair of shoes. In fact, the best Americas I ever had were a pair of Chuckers that had like a sort of rubber toe cap. I've never seen them again, but they were amazing. Sorry. Why did I
so you moved to Coventry, working at Kate's Skates?
Working at Kate's Skates. Then everyone's moving away from Barrow. It's getting a bit quieter. My mate Anthony moved away. Ian was still there. And Steve. But yeah, it just got to a point where I was like, I started visiting people, and like I went to Bristol like with a friend called Bob. It was like a whole different world, like going from like skating like tiny towns in Cumbria, and then now and again getting the train to like Bolton and doing the all-nighters and stuff like that. Go to Bristol and having a weekend there with Bob, and met Frocker for the first time as well.
Oh, I love Frocker.
And it was just like
Frocker's
really
amazing.
Fun. And then
shout out Mark Frocker.
Yeah, Frocker is the best, man. He's the happiest goth in the world.
Yeah, he is. Loveliest, happiest goth.
He can't be a real goth then, can he?
He's proper goth. He's well more goth than you guys. You guys are proper
Hey, I'm proper
posers, you guys.
So if you were
Mark's the goth lord.
not to go too much on a tangent, because I could talk about him for ages, but you obviously skated with Avi quite a bit in Bolton, right? Was it Bolton Bones?
Yeah. So
incredible skateboarder.
God, I can go back and forth with loads of stuff here. You know, like I've got one of those weird memories that I kind of remember the intricate details of practically everything, so I can just rattle off loads of shit for ages if you want. But first met Avi at Burnley, and there's a picture of me and Avi, and I'm like stoked. So I was like,
you sent it to me.
Yeah. I was like stoked, like that guy's pro. Like, whoa.
Did you see that we uploaded a picture of him and Will sat on the set, and I uploaded it. Producer Fraser was like, let's put it up, see what the engagement's like. As soon as I put it up, shared on stories, companion shared it, and I was like, we've not filmed an episode. We
Yeah.
I
just
know.
want-
I spoke to Leo Sharp the other day, and he was like, "I'm looking forward to that one." I was like, "Oh, it didn't happen actually."
Yeah, because
It'd
we
be-
want
it'd be
to
great
get
to have
Avi
Avi
on,
on.
but he
Avi's
won't
a
come
lovely
on
guy.
without Jesse James. If you remember Jesse
Okay,
James,
yeah.
like-
Is he from Markham? I think.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
not
he
far
did,
from.
He did like Good Morning, Mr. Magpie video, and he sent it
I've
out
got
with
that.
flying saucers with the sherbet in it.
I've got that on DVD. Yeah,
Mad. First met Avi at Burnley, and he was just, went up to him like, "Oh, you're Chris Atherton. Can I get a photo?" And he was like, "Oh yeah." I got
You want a photo with me?
Photo. I got a photo, and I'm all like, "Oh, stoked!" And he's just like, "Ooh."
send it me again so I can.
"Yeah, of
so
course,
I can
man."
upload it.
But yeah, like, and then from there, you just see him at the Bolton All Nighters, or
Yeah.
he even came through at Barrow a couple of times because he was like, "Is the shack still going?" I was like, "Yeah."
Such a good
And
impression.
he came through, and he was like, "Oh, I remember this. Oh, Christ. Oh, I fucking slept over there. Black bogies." Like, and then when he left, he was like, "Oh, still get black bogies. Brilliant."
Avi's gonna love hearing.
But yeah, but Avi, he's another dude. Like, and I
you
love
would
the-
have seen him skating at his like peak as
yeah,
well.
like dude,
skating
Bolton All
non-stop.
Nighters. Like, so he'd drop in, do a frontside 5-0 across one intersection of the mini ramp. Manual down, manual cross, manual up,
manual down.
across the platform, manual up the other ramp that was on top of the ramp, do a pivot or something, manual back down, roll in, and then do like a kickflip, nose slap or something. Bonkers. Everything
Yeah.
was really magical. And
Yeah.
like
Yeah, he is kind of like a wizard on a skateboard,
Yeah.
isn't he? He's always been like that. I mean,
skateboard sorcery.
yeah,
Like, it's just
it's something else, isn't it?
the control, and I love the shit on the lens parts.
Yeah,
because
amazing.
It's that mishmash of all the old and new footage.
Yeah,
And then like some of the what do you call it, like 360 comply flip things that he does, and it's like doing that to nose manual down a hill. That's
that was
mad.
in the promo where he does the no comply tray flip and he
Yeah.
lands it in nose manual and goes down the hill.
Yeah, and it's sick. Like the amount of control you need to do that, like it's nuts. Like
He does it slow as well. When you watch the footage, it's like perfectly.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
planned.
got mad skills.
But yeah, so I got to see lots of wicked Avi stuff. Like,
Yeah.
And it was always, I always liked the fact that he could skate anything and bring some quirky little thing to it that
Yeah.
you'd never see before. And you'd just be watching, like, how did he do that? And like, then you had me who was just smashing about and falling over everywhere. And being like, oh, good.
So
Yeah.
it might.
Avi's lovely.
I won't put it in the episode 'cause it might not happen, but it also will. I've kind of been grinding down at Avi, and you know how Jen can do like the followed things. I want to do one where it's like Avi in Aki because he lives in Aki.
Yeah,
A lot of
Accrington.
his photos in magazines have been from Accrington.
Yeah.
And if you've ever skated there, it's utter fucking rubble
Yeah.
everywhere. But he's just agreed to like go on camera and talk
Yeah.
on camera because he's never been on camera and been like, I did this here and this is a
Yeah.
magazine.
Well,
That'd be good.
he had photos at the original skate shack in Barrow. So then I'd always ask him about stuff in Barrow, and like it just sounded like proper chaos back in the day.
Yeah, he's been going at it for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's cool that he's kind of like, he got disappeared for a bit and was doing like, his gardening and butterfly conservation and all that stuff. And he's come back to it and he's still rad, and he's still got loads of like quirky little tricks and manual stuff. And you're like, that's
He's
sick.
still got all the energy as well. Like
Yeah.
he's filming a part now and he'll still skate all day.
I used to vibe off like the music he'd have, like Bernard Wrigley and Ivor Cutler in his parts,
Yeah.
and no one else was doing that stuff. Like I was like, that's sick. Like he's getting into like some weird folk music about baby sitting on a high chair and all this mad stuff. I was like,
He he filmed a trick a couple of weeks ago and he just went, not bad for nearly 50.
What did he do?
I filmed a lot of him since then. I
Yeah.
can't exactly remember which one it was. But
Oh, and also you don't know the names of tricks, do you? Let's go back. You're saying you went to Bristol, and then
do you want to go, because we're talking about Coventry first, and we kind of jumped
Yeah.
around.
which
Do you
one
talk-
did you go to first?
Coventry? Yeah.
Okay,
so
is that kind of when we first sort of met around?
more than likely?
It was when
yeah.
I just moved to Derby, I think. So we're talking like probably 15 to 18 years ago.
God, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was 18 years ago.
And
I
you were
moved to
living in
Cov.
Coventry then?
Yeah, so I went there for uni, basically.
Yeah.
I didn't do the normal thing that everyone in Barrow did and go to Manchester or Lancaster.
And is that where you met Matt Burrows as well? Because
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was he at uni
McDonald's.
there? Was he?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Because he's from.
He lived with me for a little bit.
Yeah, so he's from like Letchworth, near where I'm
Yeah.
from. Big up Matt Burrows.
Yeah,
He's in
Matt-
Australia
Matt's-
at the minute.
Is he? I haven't
lives
seen him
out
in
there, yeah.
ages. He popped a message recently, I think on Instagram, which was cool. But yeah, he lived with me for a little bit. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah.
I think like he was in uni and then he was working part-time in the IT department.
Yeah.
And they realised that he was just like a IT god, and then he just sort of sacked off uni and did that because he was better than the whole IT department, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw him maybe 18 months ago. He randomly, out of the blue, he phoned me and he's like, I'm in Derby, I'll come and see you. And I just moved into a new house and he turned up with his girlfriend and they were like, yeah, we're going to Australia in 3 days. We're emigrating. But
Sick.
Yeah, big up Matt Burrows.
Yeah, he's
Lovely
a nice
dude.
guy. Lovely person.
Sorry.
So it's Coventry.
No, you're all right.
Talk to us about Coventry.
It's got one of the best spots in the world.
Oh, yeah, the Walsgrave Fountain. That's amazing. But yeah, moved to Coventry for uni and was like, it's a bit different than going to Manchester or Lancaster or something. And Frocker lived there. So I was like, I know Frocker. So
Where's Frocker living now?
He's living in Chester. Yeah.
I always see the raddest photos of him like goffed up with his fella. I always comment like, you two are the fucking best.
Yeah, they're the raddest. Man.
They're so sick. I can remember at the first Baghead Prem, we were talking online, maybe even through Sidewalk Forum at the time. And I went to the Prem and, well, of course I went to the Prem because it was my video, but I turned up and I was like, who's that tall goth just stood on the mini ramp? Because there was no pictures. It was just, we just spoke to each other.
Yeah.
And he came up and he was like, hello, I'm Mark Frocker. And I was just like,
hi.
I was like, and he might have been living in Coventry at the time. I don't know. This is 2014, 13, 14, 10 years ago. And I was like, you drove all the way from there? What?
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that he did, and he did it on his own. He skated the mini ramp all night.
Mark's a true skateboarder, man. Again, he's like a proper skate nerd as well.
Beautiful guy.
And he's still well into Warhammer. Like,
I see it.
Whenever I see him, he's always like, take this away from me, and he'll give me like a miniature. He's like, I've got too much. And I'm like, oh, all right. It's like,
do you ever
big up Mark Frocker again?
Do you ever geek off about Warhammer with Stan Byrne?
No, not so much actually. I knew Stan when I lived in Cov. He was a little shit.
Was he?
Yeah, he's always hassling me, man. Like, I kind of, so sorry, Stan. Like, he kind of wound me up sometimes. Well, I think it's just because he was a young kid. And like, you know, he just, I'd be like, oh God, not this kid again. But he's all right now. Like, we've let that pass. He's a nice kid, but I didn't realise he was super into Warhammer until recently.
Yeah, he is. He paints them all as well.
But yeah, he used to wind me up something rotten. But I think it was just him being a kid.
He's pretty mellow now.
He's well mellow.
Actually,
he's a nice guy.
He's probably one of the more mellow a lot that we hang out with.
Yeah,
he's pretty chill.
He actually knows
Big
as well.
Up, Stan.
He knows as well that he used to wind me up.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
It's because he said to me last time, so he's like, "I used to wind you up, didn't I?" I was like, "Yes, you did."
I think everyone when they're
but you're all
younger,
right now. Yeah,
dicks, aren't they? So
he's just young. But yeah, Cov, uni, Frocker, skating, and then that's it. Being in Coventry, it was like, what do you do at the weekend? Oh, there's an event on. I'll go there. So I just get the train everywhere.
So
there was a lot of events at that time.
I mean, this is what Daz is in the studio as well, but we were talking about this earlier as well, weren't we, Daz? Like, there was so much more going on.
Yeah,
it seemed like there was.
It seemed like every weekend there was.
At least bi-weekly, I'd say.
Yeah.
Every
it was just constant, wasn't it? There was always. I mean, maybe there is now. We're just not aware of it.
We're just too old to pay any attention to it
or care.
Well, to like the younger generation care about it.
I think they care as much because
like an old fart.
Because we were talking about this a while ago. Those events were the only time that you could see everyone that you know. But now you've got social media, you feel like you're seeing everyone anyway. I see what you did last weekend. So it doesn't feel like sat here that the last time I saw you was in Coventry eating a curry, because I've seen you all over Instagram.
Yeah.
So I think no social media gave you that urgency of seeing good skateboarding from your mates at an event. So you all flocked to those events.
Yeah.
So on that note, you must confirm this memory I have of you.
Oh no.
the Burton-on-Trent jam.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Really, I mean, we must be talking 15 plus years ago.
Yeah, God, yeah, that'll be early Cov days.
You did what I can remember as being, and still remember it as being, the funniest thing ever. The jam was just like mediocre jam, whatever. Yeah. You grabbed the mic and just started freestyle rapping, running around the park. And I was just there and I was like, I'd only met you like recently around there. I was like, this is fucking unbelievable. This is the best thing ever. Because
I did that at a few
you were
events.
like you are now. You're pretty like chill.
Yeah,
you know, mellow vibes.
Guy,
but you went nuts. It was amazing. Was that a regular thing at the time? Because it was like you'd done that a lot.
I think it was. I just got excited.
Yeah.
And to express myself, I just make songs. I still remember that.
It was amazing.
Going to a Leicester jam, and I was getting really pissed off with all the Leicester skaters. Sorry, God.
Was that boring?
And I pulled the mic off somewhere. I was like, "Yo, I'm in Leicester. We're child molesters." And everyone was like, "What?" And I was like, "Stop touching these kids."
Was that boardroom?
Yeah,
an old boardroom event.
It was. I just remember.
That was like 2006 or 2000, maybe a little later.
When you did it at Burton. it was like the highlight. I was like, this is fucking amazing.
I can't even remember what I was singing about.
I
But
can't
it would have
remember. It
been
doesn't
what
matter.
I-
It was
what
more
I
the
saw
fact that you
and
just went mental across the
Yeah.
park, and everyone was like, "What the fuck's going on?"
I
And I
like-
was in hysterics.
I like music, and when I've had a couple of drinks, I'm all excited. I still come out and like to make stupid songs and sing. I mean, with Lost Savages, like it's all. If you listen to the lyrics, half of them are just nonsense. Like, but I've always been into that. Yeah, but that's funny, man. I can't remember that.
Oh,
Like,
it was so good.
There's that
It's one of the
core memory.
best memories I've got of those events and
Yeah.
stuff. It was just so funny.
There's that core memory confirmed for you. There.
Yeah, because I was like,
all week he was like, did he?
yeah, I was like, because no one
Yeah.
else really mentioned it, and to me, it was just amazingly funny. It was just like, this guy's funny.
I was
as
probably
fuck.
people were probably trying to get tricks as well. I was like, land that trick, you.
Yeah,
Like,
but
just like making shit up on the
it was,
cuff.
yeah, I don't know. It was almost like
Need to watch
you,
my
like,
language, my
rehearsed or
family.
something, but you just went nuts, and I was like, whoa, this is good. I like this.
wicked.
Wicked sense.
If we get you a mic, can you?
Well, we can do a freestyle.
I can try and
he
do a
can
freestyle.
the credits. When
Oh
when
my
close.
I
god!
could try and do that.
imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Well, we're not wrapping up yet.
No.
Calm
Yeah.
down. Calm down.
Let's go back. I want to go back to Coventry.
Yeah,
'cause
Coventry.
obviously you've
Why?
got-
I don't want to go back there, but I have to now and again. But, yeah.
when did you meet Swampy and talk about the brewing? So Swampy
do
and
you,
the bowl.
Do you remember?
I remember getting
a really
tattoos off him in his
dodgy
hell
site
shed.
called MySpace. Do you remember?
Yeah, remember MySpace.
So yeah, MySpace was the thing, wasn't it? And you know, you just hear like little rumours, and it's like, oh, someone's got a ball in his back garden. It's like, nah.
Was he a crusty when you met him? Did he have
Proper,
the dreadlocks?
yeah, proper
oh,
crusty.
man. And it would have been a shallow bowl at that
It was
time.
super
too.
shallow. It's like a pond. It's like
Yeah.
like a garden pond. But
Because
yeah,
that ended up being hell.
yeah, it was amazing. Like, it was impossible to skate. It was sick. Yeah, so just heard about this guy, and I was like, who's this guy? And he's called Swampy. And I was like, all right, and he's on MySpace. So I found him on MySpace, and like, you know, add friend, like, accepted, like, oh, then messaging like, hey dude, I live in Cov. Is it cool to come skate your ball? And he's like, yeah. I was like, where do you live? He's like, here. And he lived in like, I think Wicken or Wyken. It's W-Y-K.
Wicken, not far from the
yeah,
hospital
not far
one.
from the hospital, which I was like, sick. Yeah, and I went round there, and he obviously like, you went there, right? Yeah, of course you did. Yeah.
Yeah, the way that I met Swampy is I saw a couple of clips on like Facebook,
Yeah.
so this wasn't MySpace time. And
Yeah.
somehow, I can't remember, but I think someone put up like a little montage out video, maybe Stan or someone.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like skating around the Blue Bowl, and they film like the Wicken sign or whatever it
Yeah.
is, and then go to Swampy's. And I found his backyard in the bowl on Google Maps.
Yeah.
And I messaged him through Facebook. He'll probably just be like, no, you didn't, whatever. But I'm sure this is what happened. And I messaged him and I was like, oh, I'm going to come skate your bowl one day if that's cool. And he was like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that day was the next day that actually planned. So I'd only messaged him the night before, like, I'm going to turn up one day.
Yeah.
If that's cool. And we just knocked on his door, and I had like, at the time I'd made a load of baguette tees and
Yeah.
stickers and hats. And he just like answered the door, and I was like, can we skate your bowl and would you ride for us? And he was just like, the same thing to you. He was just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Go in. And then made you a cup of tea and gave me a black flag
Sick.
tattoo
So I've
whilst
not got-
listening to Black
I've
Flag.
not got a tattoo off Swampy, but I probably need to change that.
But when I went there, the bowl was super big
Oh, yeah, now.
and obviously short as well. So tell us
think I
about
was there
when
as well,
you
yeah.
first went. And
So yeah, just again messaged him. He's like, yeah, and he gave me his address, and I went round there, and I just remember walking through the house, and there's loads of crazy artwork everywhere.
his whole family's the same as Swampy,
And then like I met his brother Bill, who took used to take photos of Swampy.
who's in a heavy sludge band as well.
Yeah, Bastard Son of Your Mum.
Yeah.
yeah. They were, yeah. Bastard BSYOM, big up.
What was Swampy's band called when he did a load of the?
There was Pile 239, and they did like the Chicken song. That was sick. Scumline Surfers. That was like a
That's the
surf
one I
rock band.
remember.
They were rad.
Scumline Surfers. Yeah.
Swampy will just be like, I'm doing this, and then it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like he could do anything, like, and you'd be like, that's amazing. And he's just like a real humble, quiet dude, like man of few words, like
Rips logos off everything.
Yeah, which is sick.
He has a burner phone. And
But yeah,
doesn't
you'd
want
walk through
letters.
his garden, and there'd be like mad little sculptures and like you know, like drawings in the garden. His mum just seemed to let him do it, and then there was like knackered old
mum's
bits of
cool as
ramp,
fuck.
and then like there was a shed, and the shed was like
Had a mini ramp in it.
yeah, well before then, like there was just like his like wood workshop, and it had all like cut out boards and mad shit just written on the wall. And you got to the bowl, and it was like a little mad pond, and he absolutely everyone shredded around it.
Yeah.
But it was sick, and then obviously he started making it like gnarlier and bigger. But as soon as I met Swampy, it was like, I think I was wearing like a Driven hat or something. Have you heard of them? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, Driven. And I was like, yeah, man. Do you like Jason Jesse? He's like, yeah. I was like,
Yeah. And he
sick.
always used to only drink one specific beer as
Yeah,
well.
Banks is bitter.
Yeah, he drank one beer, and then when I started going there, he just got rid of the mini ramp,
Yeah.
which was like basically a foot of transition up to a wall, and he'd go up to the top
Bash it,
of
yeah.
the ceiling.
And there was like a baby, not a real baby, Christ. Like a doll, like nailed to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Sick.
And he's also an incredible artist. He's done a lot of
oh,
art for Heroin. He does questions boards.
Yeah,
usually,
yeah,
like-
he's amazing. He's so good. Like he's done the last 2 National Crust designs. Like,
Yeah.
So which is thank you, Henry. Yeah, he's just the guy. And then we just hit it off because we were like, you know, I'd be like, I'd just name some like kind of obscure skates. I'm like, do you like Pete the Ox? He'd be like, yeah. Like, sick. Do you like, I don't know, Royce Nelson? He'd be like, yeah. I'm like, fucking, this is rad. And like, but it was never like, oh yeah, man, really. It was just like, yeah.
Yeah,
And I was
real
like, sick.
straightforward.
And then we'd be like, I'd be like, do you like Void? He'd be like, fucking love Void. And then it was like, oh, do you like Dead Kennedys?
Do you like Crass?
Yeah, do you like all these like hardcore bands? And he'd just be like, yeah. And then we just hit it off straight away. And it was like the Swampton crew. So you had Swampy, you had Nick, you had Tony Lou.
Do you remember when Tony Lou tried to go off the
Yeah, that
roof of his bowl in the death video,
Yeah.
slipped back and cracked his head?
Yeah, that was gnarly.
Yeah.
That was pretty scary actually. But yeah. But
Yusuf
Tony
bonus
was
off
crazy.
that. You remember?
Yeah,
Like, I
which
filmed
is-
him bonus off that on
which is
like a
fucked.
12-inch board
Yeah, I remember
with 4
seeing.
rails.
I remember seeing that like, and not believing it. Like,
Yeah.
you can't do that sort of thing. It was the jankiest, nastiest ball.
Everything was
You'd
falling.
watch Swampy skate it, and it was like, you know, you got those motorbike shows, and it's like the Wall of Death, and he had like stuff like just tacked to like this rickety fence. He'd smash around that, and then get loads of speed and smash around the car. It was so sketchy, but there was barbed wire on the fence
On
as
top
well,
of
and
fence.
just bits like purposefully to catch you out. Like,
Yeah.
it was so good when new people would come and skate, and the first thing they'd do, they'd look at it and be like, what? And then they drop in and be like, whoa, like
The amount of people I took
so
there
hard.
who said, I'm going to do this and that, and I'm like, no, you're not. But I remember filming him. I put it on screen because it's one of the most insane clips. He like drops in, pumps round, goes round the corner on the right
Yeah.
side, comes back round, and he goes round the corner on the
Yeah.
left, but he starts it on both flat walls, and you
Yeah.
see the fence
just
wobbling because we
yeah.
had a session there.
Yeah, I was-
one night
I was
as well,
there that
didn't we?
day,
And
yeah.
he went round the whole, like you said, the wall of death. Just
Yeah.
you used to go around the whole thing, and you see the fence
Yeah.
like shaking.
But yeah, it was sick, man.
Insane.
Yeah, it was sad that like you had to dig it out, but you know, that's kind of cool as well. It's like all those memories you've got of it, and it's just
Yeah.
like crust becomes dust, you know.
I like-
Get rid of it. Yeah.
I like the one full length video we did of it where it was
666.
the 666 Halloween Hell video. Or
Yeah,
something.
6 minutes and 66 seconds long. So
Yeah.
7 minutes and 6 seconds. Yeah, that video's sick, man. Yeah, it was online for a bit, but I think they took it down because it used clips from Faces of Death.
I've still got it. It's on Facebook somewhere.
I've lost my copy. I might have to get you to burn me one.
No, I've just got it digital. Like, I downloaded
okay.
it off his YouTube
Oh,
when
I
it
have
was
to-
on and uploaded it
You might have to send
with
it
his
to me.
permission because he'd just be like, "Can I use it?" No.
Yeah.
And it's him like tattooing in like masks and stuff, and then
Yeah.
skating vert. And
Yeah.
he was so sick, man. Swampy's incredible.
Swampy's the best, man. Big up Swampy again.
Have you seen him
Big up
recently?
Swampy.
I'm going down to Cornwall in a couple of weeks, and Swampy lives down there, so I'm hoping we hook up then. Yeah, so I keep in contact with him, like message him from time to time. He's doing good, man. Like he always wanted to move to Cornwall. He's down there.
Is he in a house or a cabin?
I think he's in like a flat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, like he's doing good, man. He's happy, so that's cool. Be nice to see him more, but I mean, I live in one arse end of nowhere, and he lives in another arse end of nowhere. So
I can remember he unfollowed me on Instagram and then just messaged me and just put post too much. And, and I was like, yeah, it didn't even offend me that he said that. I was just like, yeah, it's true.
Do you know that
Well,
he could
I always loved the picture on the forum where it's like the guy with the trumpet. It's like Baghead Crew, and there's a
Yeah,
thing where it's like UK
that was by
skateboard.
Ben Powell, and I
Is
made
it?
thousands of those stickers and sent them to him. And then he put it on the forum and he put, "Look what just turned up at my door," and I was like, "You gave me your address."
Yeah,
But then when
That's
I met
amazing.
Powell, like I've ran into him a couple of times, but when I properly met him,
yeah,
he came up to me and he was just like, "Smart move, like that's
Yeah.
what you need to do." Someone takes the piss, just put it back to
yeah.
him.
Of course, that's brilliant.
And that's been my best sticker.
yeah,
Like,
that thing was well funny.
So apparently you can do good Craig questions impressions. Let's hear it.
What you on about?
Come on.
Do you want to play a game of red, not red? What's red? Caps of tea. red rap music, not red. I love Craig. Craig's amazing. Like we just went on a trip to Scotland with Craig. And yeah, he was just a riot the whole time. I did lose my temper with him once, but
you were skating with Stu Graham, right?
Well, yeah, I hadn't seen Stu in
skating
years.
as well?
Yeah, he was smashing around, man. Like just taking it real easy, but.
I really want to get him on
to be
this.
fair, you can't take it easy in Livy, and he was just, he knows it, so he was just,
Is he still
just
living
carving
there?
round at speed, switch, knew every little bit to hit. So.
Yeah, he knows that
And
place.
he brought his
doesn't
dog Ick, and the dog was well cute, and it was like
Ick.
quite vocal.
Yeah.
Ick.
Is he living here still? Because last time I spoke to him, he said that he was. Where's his missus? Is she back?
I think they're in America. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think he's moving out there again soon. Yeah.
Maybe you can drop him a little message for us and say, when on the Brain Drain show, those guys would really like to have you on.
I'd love to have him on.
Yeah, he's a legend, man. Like, he is. Real mellow, chill guy as well. Like, nice guy. But yeah, it was lovely to see him and Benson. I hadn't seen Benson in ages.
Yeah, wow, that's a sight.
Benson's a ripper, man.
Was he skating?
Not this time, but it was just cool to have a catch up with him. He's got like a wee boy or a wee girl now, he's got a wee child. Let's just say. So
Ben Laden was here the other week.
is it?
Yeah.
God, that's someone I've not seen.
We need to get
it.
it. We need because he's keen to come on, but obviously
He wants to make a couple of days out of it so we can film and edit with him.
So we need to next week. Producer Fraser, can you make a note that we need to speak to him?
Yeah.
Chris Vile as well. I need to get him on. He wants to come on.
Sick. Yeah.
Anyway, what should we go into next?
I kind of like the sound of apparently you have a one-man fan club in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, Joxa.
Yeah.
We did a little investigating to get some kind of interesting questions.
Yeah. That's my Swiss fan club.
Tell us about that. How did that happen?
So.
And have you been to visit this person?
No, but I have met him, and he's lovely.
What's his name?
Luca Andermatt.
Big up Luca
Andermatt. He looks a bit like who's the tennis player that my missus loves? Federer. He looks a bit like a massive Federer. Do you know Federer? You know watch tennis?
Roger.
Roger Federer, yes.
Yeah, we all know a bit.
There we
that
go.
guy.
Yeah, he looks like a stretched version of Roger Federer. But yeah, like just I was just browsing Instagram one day and a little notification came through. And I was like, oh, someone's mentioned you. I was like, oh, what's this about? And it was like a little story. It was like, name your favourite skater. And this guy put a clip of me skating. It was like Joxa, and I was like, whoa, why? And I messaged him like, oh, hey, dude, that's really sweet, but like that's crazy.
Can you unfollow me? Sure.
And I was he was like, oh, you're rad. I've watched all your videos, and even stuff that's really like obscure and hard to find, like from like say like trips that I've done with like my mates like Bob and the Krebs crew. And he's like, yeah, I've seen this, and then he was just like, you've got the best tail block. I learned tail blocks because of you. And I was like,
you do have a great tail block.
Wicked. And then he's like, do you drink tea? I was like, yeah. And then he was asking me certain questions. I was like, how do you even know about this stuff? Like he's really done his research.
Sounds like a stalker, to be honest, mate.
Yeah. But I've met him now. He's not. He's lovely. But yeah, he was like, do you drink tea? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I love English tea. And I was like, do you want me to send you some? And he was like, really? I was like, yeah, I'll send you some. I'll send you the stuff I drink. So I sent him a little care package of tea and then some stickers.
That's right.
But then he's on Dungeon now. He skates for Dungeon.
Amazing.
Oh, nice.
So he came over to Zombie Stew's house party last year.
Would I have met him then?
Were you at Zombie Stew's house party?
No, it was in but they came to Derby.
Yeah, they must.
There was a whole group of them.
Yeah.
There was the guy that films Funny's Dead.
Yeah.
It was a big crew of them.
So you might have met him. He's massive. He's really tall.
Yeah.
And he's got such a delicate style, like loads like quick footwork and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I met him and he's really nice and rad to meet him, and yeah, so he skates for Dungeon now. But yeah, for a while I was like, yeah, it's my Swiss fan club. It was just quite funny and quite sweet that someone that I'd never met in a country I've never visited was like, you're my favourite skater. And I was like,
that's rad, isn't it?
I've got like 4 tricks and 3 of them are the
You
same.
got more than that.
Well, you do have a perfectly executed tail block. There's no foot on the coping it's pivotal.
There's no rules in skateboarding except apart from the rules you make yourself. But if I put my foot down on a tail block, it's ruined my day. I just like
Ruins your day.
Ruins my life. But yeah, I learned them because of all the Japanese dudes did them really sick. And then it's the very first issue of Thrasher I got was Steve Bailey doing the frontside ollie.
Steve Bailey, frontside ollie.
Ladder at Mikasa. And then
on the island? Is that?
No, it's the northern island of Japan, Hokkaido. And Mikasa, it's the lost skate park.
Yeah.
That really crusty, battered thing. There
was a little documentary about it recently on Thrasher.
I'm hoping to visit it in a couple of years, actually.
I'll go with it.
But yeah, like in that article, there's a picture of Peter Hewitt doing a tail block, and the quote says, skateboarding can be so beautiful when done so perfectly. And I was like, that's amazing. But at that time, I was like, what is he even doing? Because tail block's a mad trick. Like, you're just balancing that little bit of the tail.
Yeah.
There's so much that can go wrong. And there was a frontside tail block as well. I remember looking at that, and then years later, learning them and being like, oh, they're the raddest feeling trick. Like, I love that, like, when you get it and you're like, and then you drop back in, and it's just like nice. Like,
you're on that pivotal.
It's like the pinch point, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're also famous in Japan, apparently.
Yeah, man, massive in Japan because they're also small. But
tell us about being famous.
There's Luca. There he is.
Yeah, that's Luca, man. Like,
talk to us.
What's his next trick? I taught him.
Oh, there you go. Sick.
Talk to us about being quite famous in Japan, and also there's a story of you sleeping in a cinema because that's all you could afford at the time.
Yeah, so
it's a pretty obscure one.
First time.
How many times have you been to Japan?
3. Yeah, okay. 3. And I'm hoping to go in a couple of years.
I'll go with you. Give me a shout.
Sorry, man. It's me and the missus. It's not a skate trip.
He's not worried about that.
No, I'll go anyway.
I'm planning to go to New Zealand and then hit up Japan on the way back. But
he'll come there as well.
Yeah.
Send Lee Ralph a message.
Do it, yeah. So the first time I went there, a few weeks before, I broke my arm, broke my humerus bone. And we had nowhere to stay because we didn't book hotels. We were just going to go there, skate and sleep at the skate parks, proper just scumbag style. As soon as we got there late, and the first night we tried to set up camp, which was literally a sleeping bag on concrete, and we got surrounded by cats, and we were like, oh, we're not going to get out of here. It was just me and the melon. So we booked a hotel. His dad gave him credit cards, use this in emergencies, and we booked probably the priciest hotel that night, and we were so scared that we didn't even touch anything. So if we touch stuff, we might have to pay for it. But then, that first trip was just getting around Japan. We ended up getting another hotel just to be there, and there's no skating for me because I had an arm in a sling.
So what did you go over for if you weren't skating?
Well, I was meant to skate, but 4 weeks before I fucking broke my arm.
I guess you'd already
in
booked
Blackpool.
it.
Yeah. So we went over there, and I was just like, it was cool. I've always wanted to go there, so I was just bumming around. But we were going in skate shops, and I ended up getting a few Japanese, companies, products and stuff. And then, on the last night, we had nowhere to stay, so we booked the longest film that we could watch, and we just fell asleep in that, for 4 hours, whatever. Mm-hmm. And the next morning, went back over to the airport and flew out. But when we came back, I sent a load of pictures to this company because I got a balaclava, which I forgot to bring with me. And then they were like, oh, put it on their website, UK Steve, and I was like, oh, wicked. And next time you're here, come skate with us. So, went back the second year with me, the Melon, Frocker, and Zorro. And we did it properly this time. We booked a hotel. But we just went out and met all these Japanese skaters. And it was just from, again, it's before any sort of social media. It was just us emailing them, oh, I bought this T-shirt, I bought this hat, check it out. And they're like, come skate. In the morning I went to meet them. Those guys were all tired. They're like, nah, we're going to stay in bed. And I was like, okay, I really want to go meet these guys. And also find the Heroin Japan distribution. Mm-hmm. So I found that, met the guy at the Heroin Japan distribution, was sick. Then found Magical Mosh Misfits, which is the Japanese company. Yeah. And the guy that runs it's called Marilla. And I walked in with the balaclava on and was like, whoa! And he was like, UK Steve! And I was like, yes! And I took it up, and then he couldn't speak much English. I could speak limited Japanese. But then there was a guy there that spoke a bit better English. And then we sort of organised to meet up. Mm-hmm. I came back to the hotel. Those guys had all left to go and skate some crusty spot in the middle of nowhere and left me directions this is what train to get and whatever. But I was like, fuck that, I'm going to go skate with these dudes later on. So I went back out on the train, skated with these dudes. And they were all just really lovely people. They were really accommodating. One of the best memories I've got actually is to get from spot to spot, because we were skating at night, because in Japan obviously it's super busy. So they're like, yeah, meet us at this Ueno banks at like 11 o'clock when it'll be quiet. It's like a transition bank that like stretched for like 500 meters or something ridiculous. Like it was just like this down the whole edge of this park. And then to get from spot to spot, they were like, jump on the motorbike. So I was like going through Tokyo on the back of a motorbike, just like, whoa, this is amazing. And I loved like Akira, like anime. So I was like, I feel like I'm in Akira. And I went to put the goggles down and there was no glass in them, and they just all started laughing at me like, what are you doing? And then the Marilla was like, just poked me in the eyes. Oh yeah, but
my friend John said, 'cause he goes to Japan quite a lot, he said from the first time he went like skating, the way that they skate and talk to you is like they've known you for
forever.
years.
Yeah,
and they'll
it's
be
amazing.
like, stay here, come to the shop, have this.
But then with that as well, we went out to Thelem, which is in Ibaraki, and that's in the like Japanese countryside. And they were just so stoked that we'd made the effort to go there,
to travel.
And literally we had like directions written down in Japanese, like badly translated. We got the bus to Ueno again, and then the train to Ueno, and then we got a bus, and we spoke to like some Japanese girl, and we're like, oh, how do we get here? And like she was like, oh yeah, I know where this stop is, I'll tell you when to get off. And we got off, turned up at Fulham, and that was like a super gnarly park, and they were all really into like the Drivern and Jason Jesse and all that sort of stuff at the time. And yeah, just again, because like you say, we made the effort, they were like friends for life. So yeah, just doing that and skating, and went back the following year.
Did you ever meet Maru?
No, I never met Maru.
He's
I would have loved to
so
have met
good.
Maru. Yeah.
I always thought he was like the Japanese Zarosh kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They're so similar.
But yeah, he's sick.
They're incredible.
Shintaro Maruyama. Yeah, he's really cool.
amazing.
Did
you ever skate there? They've got like a bowl with like a real whippy pool corner. And
yeah, that's Fulham.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, that's Fulham,
But it's not pool coping, it's bricks, isn't it? Is it bricks? And you grind it and it's like...
Yeah, that's...
that looks insane to skate.
That was nuts, yeah. So I do have a picture of me actually doing a front side grind on the extension.
Can you send me that picture?
Yeah, of course,
for
yeah.
educational purposes?
But yeah, sick. Just, everyone's really nice over there. And then the third year, went back, stayed with the Fulham guys again, and then went and watched Bad Shit in Osaka. And loads of stuff came from that.
Yeah. Amazing.
So yeah.
Can we talk about punching?
Can we talk about the time that you punched Jake Phelps? And it's probably not the first time he's been punched by an Englishman as well.
Give us some context. How did this
Tell
go
us the
down?
whole story from start to finish. And if you want to go down any wormholes, please feel free.
He's dead, so what's...
Yeah, and my punch was
Well,
part of the
apparently
reason.
he's always watching.
Oh man!
That was so savage.
No, that's going in. That's going in.
Oh man! Oh right. Okay.
Are you in the room?
Are you in the room? Fucker, turns what you do.
Tell us about the time you fucking laid out. Because we got told it was like a WWF match by Zombie Stew.
Clothesline.
Fucking choke slammed him through a table and then climbed the ladder, elbow drop. No, yeah. So we
Set
went
the scene.
Right. So me and Melon, third time in Japan.
Big up, Melon.
Big up the Melon because he's the best. Went down to Osaka and we were skating with Osaka daggers. So I was skating with Chopper and Hammergy and all those dudes and Dal. That was sick.
Big up Dal.
I'd met Chopper before on the Live from Antarctica tour, and he's a freak.
Yeah.
In the nicest possible way, but he's just a freak. So we skated with those guys, and then they were giving us beer. Melon didn't drink, but I was like, yeah, I'll drink. And then they thought it was funny because I was drinking Kirin Ichiban, which is like the old man beer. So they're like, oh, you're an old man. And then we went out for food, and it was like a big event. They're like, oh, bad shit. And we're like, yeah, sick. Anyway, we got to the venue, and by this point, I'm already pretty tipsy, pretty excited. I'm going to see Jake Phelps and Tony Trujillo, I wouldn't say heroes, but people,
Easily recognised.
Yeah, easily
in our
recognised.
world.
People that you're like, oh, these, almost like skate celebrities.
Yeah. Celebrities.
Celebrities, yeah, that's a good word. So these celebrities that I was looking forward to meet.
I was still laughing at the, well, apparently he's always watching. That I've been sat here smirking.
Yeah,
Right,
so
give it a couple of seconds. Let him.
Toby, relax.
That was the best thing. That was the best fucking thing you've ever said on this podcast.
Oh, don't put that in because
No,
he'll
it's
fucking
going
come
in.
and get me.
Imagine
Somebody
getting
will come and get me.
haunted by
Sorry,
Phelps.
yeah, you were going to see the
Yeah,
band. Yeah.
so
So you went to see the band. All
yeah,
the
so
Japanese
and
were like, bad shit.
and they, obviously in Japan, the celebrity culture is like they just like love celebrities. So we get there and like Phelps and Trujillo's Mrs. Trixie, what she's called, they were outside. And all the Japanese dudes are like, bad shit, whoa, Jake Phelps, whoa. And they're all going mad. And then me and Melon turn up, I'm like, oh, no way, it's Jake Phelps and Tony Trujillo. Whoa. And then like Phelps sort of clocks us like, hey, fuckers, where's your board? And we're like, oh, dude, we've been skating. We're coming to watch you like play a gig. Like, he's like, oh, you're not real skaters. Where are you from? And we're like, oh, we're from England. Do you know Div? Yeah, Div's sick. Where's your board? We're like, dude, we just come to fucking watch you guys play. We've been skating. At this point, I was like, this guy's a twat. He's a twat. And then Tony Trujillo is like this weird little gremlin creature, like Jabba's fucking mate. And he's like so Phelps will be like, bruh, and then Trujillo's like, all right. And I've been drinking. I'm like pretty giddy. And I'm like,
Already
okay.
over it by this point.
Over it. I was like, you guys are like being pricks.
Did you say that to him?
Yeah, I was like, you guys are being pricks. And then like Phelps was like, oh, fuck you, dude. England fucking sucks. And I was like, what? I was like, America sucks. You guys, your fucking economy sucks. Yeah, get that. And he was like, what? And I was like, right, this is just annoying. Anyways, they just kept being dicks.
Never
And Trujillo
met
was
your
just
heroes.
being like a proper prima donna, you know, like just a bit of a bitch. So yeah, like Phelps said something and I was like, what did you say, mate? And he
Do you
was
remember
like,
what you said?
no. I was like, what did you say? And it was something like, you look like a prick or you guys are late. But probably something a bit more. My friend Melon actually, he remembered quite a lot because he didn't drink. So he said it was just hilarious because I was just giving it as much as they were giving it. And then I was like, you know what, dude, fuck you. And I just like punched him right in the chest. And he was like, whoa. And I was like, fuck off, like, you guys are pricks. And he was like...
Thing is, he loves that shit.
But then, yeah, he grabbed me and was like, you're all right, kid. And then, like, there's a photo of me and him, and I'm like, oh, all right, fuck off.
Yeah.
Kind of a bit stoked then that he's grabbed me and he's not, like, laid me out or anything. But, like, then, like, he toddles off, and then Tony Trujillo is just continuing to be a bit like a spoiled little bitch. And I was like, you know what, dude, you can fuck off. You're a turd. And he was like, what? I was like, you're a fucking turd. Gave him loads of shit, and then they like went off, and like Melon was just laughing and telling me what I've done, and I was like, oh man. And then I was kind of like, yeah, some nobody from Barrow-in-Furness has punched Jake Phelps. Yes.
Fucking, that's brilliant.
But it continues.
Go on,
So
go on,
I'm going to
go,
give
go,
you the final bit.
Give me the full story.
So yeah, they all toddled off to get ready in their green room. I carried on drinking. Like all the Japanese dudes are just like, keep drinking, like because the hospitality is you finish your drink, they'll get you another. And I'm just like, I've got to keep drinking this because it's rude to stop. Like, so I'm hammered. And then I find out where the green room is.
Oh, yes.
So I watched the first band, which is called Breakfast, and they're a proper Japanese hardcore band. Like, they're like, every song's like 30 to 40 seconds long. They're like, everyone's going nuts when they're playing. And I toddle off, find like the green room, like, kick the door open and walk in, and Trujillo, Phelps, and Trixie there again. They're like, hey man, what are you doing back here? And I was like, fuck you guys. It's like continue to just give him loads of shit. And then there's a couch, and I was like, I'm gonna sleep here. What are you gonna do about it? Fuck all. So I just like got on the couch and fell asleep for I don't know how long. But then I was woken up by Trixie, and she was like, hey man, you're gonna miss the best gig of your life. And I was like, not really. And she gave me this t-shirt. So I got a
nice.
Shitzilla Japan t-shirt, which I've still got. So yeah, 07, which was pretty cool. And then we went out, watched the gig. I got headbutted in the face by some Japanese dude because I was acting like a prick and just jumping around, you know, having to be a mosher.
Yeah.
Which was great fun.
Can I just talk? Sorry, I know people love Phelps and that, but that macho, like you having to punch him for him to then be like, "Oh, you're all right." Like,
Yeah,
But that was his thing, though, and he's like, you have to live and breathe
imagine being around
skateboarding.
that. Like,
yeah, it's weird, man.
You have to
you
live
don't
and...
you don't have to live and breathe skating. You can do what you like.
You fucking do, fucker.
But like that attitude to me, is just like that would make me quit skating.
Yeah.
If I was around someone like that, I'd just be like, fuck this.
Have we got any portable mics for Daz?
We're not similar. It's not a similar thing, but when we were in Marseille, I remember sitting out beside the Red Lion pub with Matt and Reese, and Phelps came and had a drink with us.
Yeah.
And it was like all the macho bravado and stuff, and all it was like, it's the comp. Are you going to make it happen?
Yeah.
Are you going to make it happen? And I'm like, to be honest, I'm like 20 or something, and I'm like, you know, I mean, 20 is pretty old, but at the time I'm just like, what am I making happen? Like,
So I mean,
it's so hard because at that age you're so impressionable, and you're like,
Yeah, I was 20,
all your skating
21.
All your skating and your whole persona is wrapped around these sort of people and this thing. And,
I think that's a
And,
real negative persona to
yeah.
being, you know, to rub off on people. Like, I mean, that would have made me think, fuck this.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
it just made me. Well, I still think Tony Trujillo's a turd, like because he was a fucking turd. And I mean, there's footage of me in one of the Thrash Escape rock vid, like in the crowd when they do that Japan tour. There's footage of me in the crowd, like going for it, like moshing, because I'm like, you know, pissed. I'm like listening to hardcore punk. I'm like in a happy place, and I still enjoyed the music Bad Shit played. They were just crap people. Trixie was all right though. She was quite nice.
That's the hard thing about
So
it,
that was
isn't it?
cool.
It's like not even just the music, just with the skating. It's like
Yeah.
TNT, Phelps, like everything they fucking go for and have on the board, you're like, I'm backing it.
Yeah.
But then it's just like the personality thing is like,
Just
I
sucks.
just don't
man,
need that.
Just sucks.
I couldn't think of anyone worse to be on a session.
The good
than
thing
Phelps.
is, so like for a little while, I was like felt a bit like guilty about that story because
Why?
I just
Somebody
felt
was being a dick.
yeah,
You stood up for
I
yourself.
know,
Fuck
but I
him.
was just, I also was like, oh, I shouldn't have done
Have a
that. Being
bit,
a bit of a
have
prick.
it out with the camera, like you're talking to Phelps now. Say, fuck you, Phelps.
Fuck you, Phelps. And you're a fucking turd, Tony T. Fuck you. Who else? Who else do I not like?
Tony T the turd.
Fuck this. Let's just hate on everyone. From
That's
now.
the title for this video can be the guy that punched Jake Phelps and called Tony T. Tony T the turd.
Fucking
Tony,
hell,
Punch him,
Tony
Phelps.
Turd Hill or whatever.
that
it's
that
called.
is a good
Tony
story.
Turd Triller.
Well, I will say that when Thrasher did that tour and he came to the Dina a few years ago, I did see Phelps again. I actually went up to him and went, "Remember me, fucker?" And he was like, "Japan?" I was like, "Yes." And then he was all right. He was like, "Oh, hey man, yeah, nice to see you." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Sweet."
sorry
And
that
I
was
got
a complete fucking helmet.
Oh, he didn't say sorry, but then I got another photo of him putting the V's up again.
Yeah.
It's just like-
Fuck Tony
But yeah.
Turd Trio.
But yeah, so that's that. It's all out there now in the open. But I think
you
yeah,
did
as
nothing
well
wrong.
at the time as well, I was like, yeah, like I say, some nobody from Barrow punched a somebody in our world, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Fucking good.
and now he's
Sounds
dead.
like you needed more. No, but now he's dead. Now he's dead, but he's still
well.
watching.
Right.
Sorry.
So from
That's fucking good story though. That
from
was
No,
a
it's all
from a
good.
crappy, somewhat skate celeb to a good one. Dear man,
Oh,
that
yeah.
session at the Bedworth Quarter,
Oh man,
and when you made him a
it was
curry
a
in his first.
red pepper dal.
And I have the picture of you and him in the valleys, and he's got the cup of tea.
I gave him his first cup of tea, and I think out of politeness he drank it. I don't think he was into it, but fair enough, he drank it.
But I remember, I think you drove us back to yours. And
Yeah.
he was just like, all I want to do is sit on the left side in the car.
Yeah.
Because
He
in
wanted to sleep.
Canada's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, DM, that was cool because I was just like a day of nothing, and then I get a phone call from you being like, "Joxa, what are you up to?" And I was like, "Drinking tea in the garden, you know, it's regular."
Dear man.
And you were like, "Dear man's in Coventry. Have you got any tight transition spots we can skate?" And I was like, "Dear man's in Coventry." Like,
do you think we
why?
were like chatting shit?
I
or
thought
something?
you were just saying some.
I took him straight to that
Bullshit.
barrier outside the like hockey.
Yeah, oh,
stadium
yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
the unconcreted one, and he still shut it down.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I don't think that's there anymore.
No, it's moved now.
But yeah, I do remember calling you.
yeah,
but
and I
your
was
side
like-
of the story.
And I was just like, "This is mad." And you're like, "Yeah, we're at the fountain. Do you know of any other spots?" And I was like, "I've got a perfect spot for him. Yeah, like Bedworth."
That might have been the
Bedworth.
first time I maybe
Yeah.
skated it.
And then, I met you guys at the fountain.
That's the
and,
red brick one, isn't it?
Yeah, the one that I've
Yeah.
been to a couple of times recently.
And nobody tells you that when he takes off the balaclava, he just becomes part of the shadow realm. And he's just like,
Yeah, he just kind
yeah,
of
he's just like
fizzles off.
shadow. But yeah, we went to the Bedworth Banks, and there was a bit of a session because a few people then heard that Dear Man was in Bedworth.
Yeah.
But
Stan turned up that day.
yeah,
shut that
yeah,
bank
Stan
down
was
at
there, and a few
Quarter.
other dudes, and
Moose.
Moose. Yeah, big ups Moose. He's a funny guy. But yeah, it was mad because you had this sort of, weird pro in Bedworth, skating. It's because the Bedworth banks are in the middle of the town centre, and I used to always get shit off people for skating them because they'd be like, "What are you doing? You're ruining those lovely bricks." And I'd be like, "When have you ever cared about these bricks?" But there's a big group of us, and then there's I don't know, he's taller than me, isn't he? He's like 6'4", and he's like wearing a balaclava, just staring at these banks, and people just looking over like, "Oh, we'll walk the other way."
Yeah, there was a couple of times when like he did snap into this like, he's just Hawkeye, but. I've never seen anyone skate those quarters the same way he skated them.
He just got stuck in straight away.
Yeah.
And it was wicked to watch because they're really abrupt. Like
that's what he
they
loves.
just sap your speed straight away. And he was like getting backtails and blunt slides, and even that mad like axle dropping on the really gnarly bit in between the two bike lock things. That was nuts because I remember you filmed a couple of them, and he was like, wait, and he set up his board in axle, and he's go. Like
yeah.
This guy's amazing.
Yeah.
And then it was just like staring down it, and they'd be like straight in. It's like one of those spots where your nose is going to hit the flat, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
he did it like 4 times. Back to back.
And in between the bike rack as well, which is gnarly. Like,
but he said to me, he's like, "I need some really abrupt transition." That's all he said. That's the whole thing he said on the whole trip. I need some really abrupt transition and some good quarry.
Sounds like the head off Zardos.
So yeah, that session was absolutely fire.
Yeah, that was sick. And then I think you're like, let's get some food. And I was like, I'll make you some food. There's nothing to eat in Coventry. Like, so yeah, it was cool that you guys came back and met Anne-Marie, and I made like a red pepper dal because he's like veggie or something. So I was like, yeah.
And you were like, this guy skates in a balaclava his whole career. And your missus was just like, lovely to meet you.
You're really nice.
Yeah.
When you're knocking up curries for people, what are you doing? You knocking up some rice to go with that?
Oh yeah, rice. And then sometimes I make my own chapatis, depending on how much time I've got. I think I made you guys chapatis, rice.
I think that was one of his highlights of the whole trip.
I like to put a bit of soy sauce on my rice. Nice. And then D-Man was like, is this an English thing? And I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe. He's like, and then he did it, and he was like, this is really good. And I was like, thanks, dear man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Dear.
Thank you, Mr. Dear.
Oh, he was so cool.
Yeah, he was lovely. He was a real nice guy. I remember messaging Foz afterwards, being really stoked. Like, I just met Dear man. He's awesome. Like, couldn't ask for a nicer dude. And Foz was like, yeah, he's rad. I was like, wicked.
Yeah, that's a good impression of Fuzz.
Oh yeah, I got Northerners down, eh?
Can you do proper Fuzz impression?
You got to make sure everything sounds like a question at the end as well.
No, I hurt myself though. You know, he's getting that thing. Like, no, I hurt myself though. What you doing, lads? And then it kicks off. Dokadango. So yeah.
Should we?
So yeah, that was fucking. That was cool. That was just a good evening.
That was a fun session as
well. I knew
that
you'd be the person I'd have to hit up if Dear Man was in.
I love shit spots, man.
You love freaks. You love freaks on.
Yeah, I'm a weirdo. I like weirdos. Weirdos are more interesting. I just want to say questions is fucking rad. I mean, it's 100 miles a minute, and sometimes you can't even
sometimes
answer.
He's so calm.
Questions came to stay in Cov for a night. And the next day he was like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, what do you want to do? He's like, oh, we always get a mini ramp somewhere.
You want to go to that spot?
Yeah, all right. So we went and skated a mini ramp just outside of Cov that I knew would be quiet and it's good fun. Skated that, and then he enjoyed it. And he's like, what do you want to do now? I was like, what do you want to do? He's like, can we go to the cathedral? I was like, yeah, all right, let's go to the cathedral. So we went to the cathedral.
This is such a good
impression. He's like, got all these tattoos and stuff. He's wearing like a Sabbath shirt with the devil on it and all that. And we walk into the cathedral, and all these old people like looking at us. And Craig's like, oh yeah, rad, look at that stained glass. Oh, rad. I wonder how old this is. Oh. And then someone came up to him and was like, started chatting to him, and Craig was like, who built this cathedral? And the guy was like, oh, it was built by Henry such and such in blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, that's really interesting because Henry such and such also built this. And he just listed off all these mad cathedral facts. And I was stood there like, what?
One of my mates said that he went to like a book signing thing, and the people there were quite highly strung and a bit snobby. And one of them asked a question like, oh, you're here, blah, blah, blah. Do you even know this? And he was like, that guy was born here and he knows that guy and he built that. And it's amazing. At the end of the night, they were all crowded to him talking. Yeah. I've seen him spark up conversation with someone drinking a beer because he knows exactly where it was brewed at what year. Yeah. It's insane.
The amount of knowledge that he holds, and like, there's always that, like, everyone, like first impressions, and you don't judge a book by its cover. And I think that definitely goes for Craig, because you could have a conversation with him about skateboarding. You could have a conversation with him about, I don't know, like a certain tribe in South America that he's been looking into. You could talk about different books that he's read. He's always good for books, actually. He loves just visiting places. Like I saw him a few months ago in Southwold because he'd read The Rings of Saturn, and I forget the author, but he was like, "How have you not read that? It's amazing." So I was like, "All right." So I checked out the library to read it.
W.G. Seabold.
W.G. Seabold, that's it. Yeah. So that guy lived in Norwich for a bit, and then he walked like the Norfolk and Suffolk coast, and he wrote The Rings of Saturn. It's a good little book if you want to read it. But yeah, it's brilliant. And yeah, I think as well, Craig's a really switched on, sensitive soul. I mean, a lot of people think he's just crazy.
Yeah, he's a one of a kind, isn't he?
He's amazing. I will say I love Craig. Yeah, he's a lovely guy.
I'm happy that I met him.
Yeah,
and he's a friend.
I'm happy that we get to hang out. Like this last weekend was great fun. Like,
even though sometimes he'll message me like, "Oh, have you heard Dwayne Peters has died?" And then I look into it, and then I asked Dead Dave, and he's like, "Yeah, he sent me that as well."
No, he was just cracking us all up this week. He was like, "Do you think about Aztec paedophilia? Like, where's that even come from?"
He's probably read it in a book somewhere.
Or making up some mad stories or something. But yeah, big up questions, man.
Yeah,
love you, mate. You're wicked.
Talk to us about your band.
Lost Savages.
Yes,
Lost Savages. Where's the thing?
Please get us the record off the back.
Yeah,
Mr. Joxa.
I reckon we should have some records left. Maybe they're quite rare.
I'll buy one.
Oh well, even better. Like
or at least pay for postage.
Yeah, I think we should. I'll speak to Dave. So yeah, Lost Savages. After uni and stuff, me and my bestest bud Slasher Sam moved to Bristol.
Oh, I know. That
Slasher's wicked, man. He built the Slasher Bowl in Daveside, which unfortunately is going to be demolished soon.
Can you get that one off the back? The record off the back? Show it in front of the camera.
Buy this record.
Let's have a look.
There you go.
While she talks about it.
So me and Slasher moved to Bristol, and I've got loads of mates in Bristol. Wicked. Like Habgood, and just been going to Bristol.
Big up Joe Habgood.
Yeah, big up Habgood. I've got loads of great stories about Joe. Joe's amazing as well. Love you too, Joe. Love you, Slasher. Love all my friends. All my friends are wicked. Where was I? Lost Savages. We moved to Bristol, obviously skating, loads of people down there, and there's a guy called Dave Blues, who I've known for a good while, and he's really into like surf and garage music, like garage punk and stuff. And then Dave, Rich, and Slasher started playing in the broom cupboard in the original campus skate park.
Nice.
And then they were like, "Do you want to be the singer for our band?" And I was like, "Yeah, all right." So yeah, that's how it started. Just practicing in the broom cupboard, and then we had our first gig at the Dean Lane Fun Day. And yeah, from there, it's just been fun. I think it's been going for like 12 years now. We've been doing it for 12 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
And even though
I wear good costumes.
we like to just dress up and goof around, and it's nothing serious. I like to try and get the crowd involved as much as possible because it's just a good laugh and makes people feel a bit more at ease. But we've had some really fun gigs, and always just have a laugh. The next gig's at this year's Dean Lane Fun Day, which is the 25th anniversary. So if this comes out before then, everyone should go there. And if it comes out after then why weren't you there?
When will this one come out?
We've got like 4 episodes, maybe 5 episodes going out before this one.
Going out in about a month and a half.
Sick, yeah. So that should be just before it then, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got a gig down there. Everyone wants to come and see us. But even though I moved away from Bristol, quite a while ago now, I still go back and play gigs and try and write some lyrics and music. We're having a little music video being done at the moment actually for our track "All Vegetables Must Die," and that's about eating all your veg. You know?
Nice.
So yeah, that should be good fun. I have to say that because some people might think it's a derogatory term.
Does that play off the "All Pigs Must Die"?
No, it's just that's the name of the song. Just, all vegetables must die, and it's just about eating your vegetables and destroying.
Deep.
Yeah, destroying.
Proper deep.
Destroying cauliflowers. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All pigs
Must die.
But yeah, so yeah, it's just been a bit of fun. Like,
Where can people find out about your band?
you can go on lostsavages.bandcamp.com or not YouTube. Oh yeah, YouTube or Instagram. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you just find us there, and we'll play. We love playing skate parks. We played a good few gigs. We played with Autoboka Beaver. Have you heard of them?
Say what?
Can't say I have.
Autoboka. Oh, you should check them out. They're like
Autoboka Beaver.
Autoboka Beaver, which is like a Japanese all-girl punk band. That was cool.
Rad.
We supported Idols years ago, which is pretty crazy. Yeah.
Maybe you should come and play when we have an event on.
Yeah,
That'd be wicked, man. The hardest thing is, like, obviously, I live over in bloody Norfolk, and then those guys all are in Bristol, but they've all got like kids and stuff, so it can be a bit difficult. But yeah, we'd be more than keen, man. Like I said, the next gig's Dean Lane, and then we have gigs sporadically throughout the year.
Mike was on about getting some bands in for the Heathen Halloween Jam this year, so that would be a good one.
Yeah, give us a shout, man.
That date's in the diary now. Can you just get the diary up? It should be in
If
there.
we have plenty of time, it's easy. It's easier to organise, you know.
A few bands, and it's more of like a.
It might be quite fun, mightn't it?
Yeah.
Is it in there somewhere at end of October time?
Well, that's when Halloween is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's. It's like
well said.
it's
Well, that's when Halloween
it's
is, dickhead.
So Halloween's on the Friday, is it?
It's on a Thursday.
Right, it's on that weekend. The Saturday, the
1st of November, 2nd of November.
well, there's only one Saturday.
Alright, don't try and buy it back now, Paris. It's alright.
Yeah, should put these on for the Lost Savages. So yeah, we like to dress up and goof off, and we've got our own brand of intergalactic scurf punk. So
Nice.
yeah, come along to the gig.
Sounds good.
Bow down to me.
Let's talk about National Crust.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's talk about the National Crust.
Yeah, wicked.
Insane Rock Fakies on abrupt transition.
okay. What do you want first? Insane
National
Rock?
Crust and Insane Rock Fakies
Okay,
on abrupt
so-
transition.
Cough
Cough out that semen, boy.
So,
What are you doing?
This took a fucking left turn, did it?
that's a lot. Yeah, National Crust. So I like skating shit, really. I always love it when you see something and it's like, where's that? Like,
Yeah.
what is that? Like, and Cov had a good few crusty spots like the Fountain, Bedworth Banks. I mean, the UK is a gold mine for shit spots, isn't it, really?
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
you've got shit spots everywhere. But then now and again, you'll see like a little glimmer of magic, like the Crust ramp in Albury-on-Severn. Like, when I first went there, the platform was grass. And it's like, this is amazing. Like, and it was built by a farmer, like in the early 90s or something mad. But yeah, I always liked seeking that stuff out. And there's definitely an influence from like the old Death and Heroin videos, like Death Squad
Yeah,
and stuff.
100%.
Like, so I'm not doing anything new. It's just,
That's what approved.
yeah, Death Squad approved spots like Squadrophenia.
Yeah.
Big up. But yeah, like I'd just gone to the Isle of Man to skate the pool, and the new park's over there. Everyone should visit the Isle of Man because it's like it's close to the UK and it's a cheap holiday and it's fun. Yeah, came back and hated my job and just walked out. I was working for Hermes, like just watching packages on a conveyor belt. It was
Yeah.
fucking awful. And there's a few spots that I'd always wanted to check out. So I went out, scouted them out, and came back and then said to Zombie, I was like, oh, I've got these like crap ditch spots. Do you want to check them out? And he was like, yeah, keen. So we met up, and then the first one we went to was just outside of Rugby, actually.
Rugby had a really good down hubber for a while that everyone was skating. With some steps with a little run of water in the middle.
Okay.
It was really hard to skate, but yeah, that's.
I don't really skate hubbers.
And they,
It's not
but
my,
they had an
it's not
indoor.
my vibe, man.
Do you remember?
What?
Do you remember they had an indoor park for 5 minutes?
Rugby? I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
it was fucking terrible. The corners of the bowls was individual slats that they'd
sick.
kind of like
Sounds
bent
amazing.
into place. It's crazy.
Well, yeah. So called Zombie, he was keen, so give him the pin of where this ditch spot was. And it's amazing because I was like, as long as we have a dry spell, we can skate it because it's like an overflow for like a reservoir.
Yeah.
And then we had that like mad hot week of sun. So we got there and the reservoir had dropped and the area was dry. It just needed cleaning up. So me and Zombie started just scraping it out, cleaning it up. And, you know, it was a bit of a laugh, and we got gardening shears and we're snipping back the nettles and shit. And we were like, oh yeah, we're like the National Trust of skateboarding, like looking after unloved spots. And then I think I was like, oh yeah, National Crust. And then we laughed, and it was like, okay, it's like
We're
it's
onto
like the
something.
Simpsons, you know, like,
Yeah.
oh, we need a name that's funny, like, oh, the B Sharps, and they all laugh. But yeah, so yeah, National Crust. So we had a brilliant day out. It was so fun. Like, we did that ditch, and every spot we had to give it a bit of a clean, and Yeah, and then started tagging stuff on Instagram like National Crust, and then people were like, "What's National Crust?" I was like, "Oh, it's just what it is, isn't it? It's like crusty spots." And then last year we did the National Crust trip, which was me, Zombie, John O'Coot, big up John O,
Big up Jono.
and then Jasper and Doddy. And part of that was we were going to skate a pool, which is super rare in the UK. I think I've skated 3 or 4.
Is it
pools.
the pool that was drained for like whole of 5 minutes and it's in a park? There was a clip of like you, Jono, and Jasper there. I think.
No, it's I think you're thinking of the same pool, but it's in
Real whippy.
Sussex. Yeah, ridiculous. But yeah, so
we were going to go to it for like a heathen thing. So we thought Ben might be able to shut it down, but we got told that it's quite bust worthy.
Yeah, we got really lucky. But yeah,
Sorry, just out of interest, what other pools have you skated in the UK?
the Isle of Man pool.
Yeah.
I've skated a pool in Newton in North Cumbria, which was part of a closed down school. I got about 10 minutes in there before the police came. And the police were like, "You've come all the way from Barrow and Coventry and Scotland to skate this." And we're like, "Yeah."
There was a pool in a mansion that we seen on Rightmove in Loughborough at one point, but it's super wicked transition. It's not nice, but people were going over the light.
Yeah.
And the police turned up there and was just like, "We thought you were breaking into the mansion because it's for sale."
Yeah.
And we were like, "No, we're breaking into the shit pool at the back. It's been neglected for a year."
To struggle at kick turns.
Yeah. What other pools?
The only one I've ever skated was the Dead Cat pool in Stevenage.
Pool.
It was in a school.
No, I've not been to that one.
It was on the front cover of a document.
Is it Howard Cook doing the front pivot?
Howard Cook doing the front pivot. That was not. I mean, it was so hard to skate, but that was.
They're ridiculous.
Yeah, like people don't understand skating in a pool. Like when you see people tearing around them in videos,
it's fucked.
Was that where Dave Allen had a cover of doing something?
Yeah, that was like the blue tile one, wasn't it? I didn't skate that one. I went to Swanage, but we tried bailing it out and we flooded the cricket pitch, and then we got like harassed by bikers, so we had to leave there pretty sharpish.
Push bikers or motorbikers?
Motorbikers, yeah. They're like a weird caravan that they did drugs in, and they saw us and like, "What are you guys doing?" We were like, "Oh, we're leaving now," because it was just we started pumping out the water from Swanage and it flooded the cricket pitch next door. And we got bummed out because we were like, "Oh, they actually really use that cricket pitch and they'll probably batter us." So we went and got fish and chips and got called Gay Boys by Joy Boys. So, and that's a nice trip. Yeah, they were just driving past us as we were eating fish and chips, and they're going, "Gay Boys." What the fuck?
Successful day.
Yeah, Swanage. So yeah, I think that's all the pools I skated. I skated a paddling pool in Grange over Sands. It's like a curb. It's amazing.
You ever skated the Penguin pool up near Chesterfield?
No, where's that?
I don't even know if that's still skatable. Is it Matlock?
I don't think you can skate anymore.
Yeah, no.
Charlie had a photo in that.
Yeah.
Oh, the one where he's on fire.
Yeah.
I've been there, skated it once. It's
I
not
think that's
far
gone.
from here.
I think I messaged him
I
not
would have
long
thought
ago.
so, yeah.
It was literally where they kept the penguins in the little mini zoo.
Yeah.
I think that whole area's changed now. I don't think it's there
That's
anymore.
amazing.
Because I saw that picture of Kennelly in a sidewalk that I got from downstairs, and I was like, "Where's this?"
I went there with Danny Callow and Zorlak once randomly, probably 20 years ago.
Mm.
But it was nice. It's about a foot deep, wasn't it? Did you ever skate it?
Yeah, I went there once.
Yeah. That was pretty
Just
rad.
penguins.
Sorry, what were we talking about? Skating pools,
pools,
and National
yeah.
Crust. So yeah,
So-
now it's on Instagram and people.
Yeah, so we did the pool trip and like we drained 84,000 litres of water, scrubbed out the pool, and us and a few of us joined us. It took like 14 hours in total to clean this pool out, and then started skating it, and then put a clip of that online, and people were just like, "Wow, this is amazing!"
That's
like,
the one I think I saw.
yeah, and Jasper got
just
the
from-
grind. The grind is ridiculous. Like he got it after about 20 minutes of skating as well. He was just, as soon as it was empty, he was smashing around it. But that grind he did was, it was ridiculous to see that. But yeah, then people just messaged me like, "Oh, have you got any products?" And I was like, I had some stickers ordered for the trip and they didn't come in time. So they turned up and I was like, "Oh, send me your address. I'll send you some stickers." And there's the power of the internet now. You send someone something, they Instagram it. So more people are like, "Oh, can I get some stickers?" I'm like, "Yeah." So sending out loads of stickers. And then people are like, "Can I get a t-shirt?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know about that." And then saw like Love and Skate Stu, and he was like, "Wow, National Crust is amazing." I was like, "All right." I was like, "Can you print me some t-shirts?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Wicked." So got Henry to do a graphic. I sketched up like a really crap skull with like 2 brushes and on a skateboard, sent it to Swampy, and he just sent something back. And I was like, that's the graphic. So the first graphic
That's the
came
thing with
out.
Swampy. The first thing he sends you back, you're like,
Yeah, I was like,
it's amazing.
banging. So I sent that to Stu. He printed the t-shirts, chucked them online, and people loved them. Like, they sold out in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they went as far away as Australia, which I
Yeah.
was like, this is nuts. So yeah, I did that, and then we just had the other t-shirt released. But the whole thing of it is, it's just like the Instagram account. I just like going to these sort of forgotten, crusty spots and shitty skate parks.
Well, there's a lot of people into that
There
stuff.
is,
yeah,
Especially
there really
in the UK,
is.
where, like you were saying earlier, like, there's so many crusty shit
Yeah,
spots that
so many.
a lot of people look at and to be like, I ain't skating that.
Yeah.
That's kind of-
That's your thing.
You just got to do it.
Sidewalk as well. When you had transition skating in Sidewalk, was all built around either you go to an old skate park
Yeah.
or a crusty spot,
Yeah.
you have the transition thing.
Yeah,
So it's like the old heathen trips we go on, you know, it would be either a skate park or a crusty spot. I remember the one was outside of Derby, that ramp that you
Oh yeah, what was that one called?
The one down the road.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gone now. It's
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
an old 70s ramp buried around a little grass. It's gone
Yeah.
now. But like, it's just stuff like that.
But
where you just
it's sick though, isn't
just
it?
lights it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's sick.
kind
It's a
of
bit
like-
different, and like you guarantee you're gonna have a good session there because you're probably gonna be the only person there. No one's gonna bother you. You can
And
take a picnic. It's nice.
That's
Back to
kind
the
of
picnics.
that's
Yeah.
kind of like my whole persona with the baghead stuff as well. Is we like skating just shitty
Yeah.
double banks and quarters as well.
But
It's
yeah.
just fun, especially when you see a spot on Instagram where it's like, I know, for example, Dave Allen at this spot 17 years ago, and you're like, I wonder if it's still there and how much more weathered it actually
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
And you get there and it's bad, but
Yeah.
it's well funny as well.
This weekend we all went up to Scotland and we skated Livy, and I've skated Livy a good handful of times, and it's still rad to go there. It's getting rougher and rougher the more I get there, and I'm getting older and more arthritic, but like I still loved it, and everyone was there. Like, I think it was Question's first time there and Jasper's first time there, and they were loving it. They were smashing it to
There
bits.
was like a spot in Scotland, I think it's a place called Irvine, and it's under a bridge. It's like
Oh, yeah,
transition
bricks,
banks,
yeah.
brick backs.
Yeah.
I think Div had a photo on it. It's
Yeah.
like the most, when you see the spot, you're like, that is ridiculous. And I don't
Yeah.
think many people have ever hit it.
I think Stu Graham skated it in a
Yeah,
creature
he did
video
like a front
as well.
side disaster on it,
It was
didn't
like that Rattray photo of that sidewalk cover Rattray had when he ollied into this like some crazy ditch as well. Like, I don't know, he's going
I
on.
wonder if that's
Yeah.
still there. It's got to be there, right?
he? Yeah, but I think I've always had that like drive to go out and skate these spots, like the Liverpool Police Bank.
Yeah.
We went from Barrow one day. It was pissing it down with rain in Barrow. Like, let's go to Liverpool. Oh, shit, it's going to be pissing down. We got there, it was pissing down. We got to the police bank. We tried to skate it because we were there.
Yeah.
And then we went back a few weeks later when it was dry. I think it was like me, Melon, Rogie, and Tyman. Like, you know, it's just, it's interesting to me to go to these places, but also these spots are usually in weird places as well that you would never even go to.
Yeah,
You've got
yeah.
no
Really dated towns
Yeah.
or little council
like
estates. and
Albury on
stuff.
7, the only thing that's there is like a little cafe and a pub. So after you skate the ramp, you go to the pub and everyone goes, and you're like, all right. And then you go up and have a pint of otter ale. It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's like
I think that's part of
Coventry
great-
quarters as well.
Yeah.
It's like-
Yeah.
I never got to skate
But
them.
like, you know, all those things,
Gutted.
like, even if you just do a slash on it, it's like you got a little postcard.
Yeah.
It's something special.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a different sort of skating,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I think that's part of growing up in the UK though, as well.
Yeah.
Is the spots are shit, like
You just make
like
do,
rough
don't you?
shit, not actual shit. I love skating actual fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of my whole, it's my
Yeah.
whole thing. But where can people find the National Crust t-shirts merchandise?
Go on Instagram. I've got a big cartel page. I've got a couple of tees left from the last drop. It's all super small scale, and any profits that I've made, I've put to the side because at some point I really want to build a DIY in Norwich. That's the
Yeah.
part of it. So it's, you know, a bit of money to the side, build something in Norwich, and then people can come and enjoy that as well.
Sounds
so,
rad.
So that's the whole deal behind it, and yeah, I think as well just showing people out there. Look, if you leave your little town, there's plenty
Yeah.
out there, and if
Yeah.
you're up for it, like just you and a couple of mates can skate like this really shit quarter, and I bet you have more of a laugh than going to the
Yeah.
same skate park or skate spots
Yeah,
every
That's
day.
that's
you know?
the vibe, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
just get out there and
I
Yeah.
think there needs
skate.
to be one rule if you make the DIYs, that when someone goes, there needs to be a little box and they put a tea bag in it. That's their
That's
currency.
the Yorkshire Gold, please.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yorkshire
I'll-
But on that note, shall we start wrapping up? I feel like that's been a lovely little chit chat
Yeah,
there.
man.
yeah,
Cool.
I've enjoyed that. What about a little bit of freestyle to wrap us out?
All we
like
need to say
freestyle
is,
skating.
No, on the mic.
no.
freestyle.
all we need to say is my name's Joxa and you've been watching the Brain Drain show. It's not so much freestyle if you're thinking about it.
Yeah,
this
you're
much.
thinking about it.
Yeah, I think about it, it's far too much. I don't know if I can give you any sort of freestyle rap because all the sort of things
Okay,
I do
no.
is usually quite crap. But I'm here with the UK's version of Ant and Deck talking about skateboarding, and Forde's dick. But here we go. I know it's been quite insane, but my name's Joxa, and this is the Brain Drain.
Right, let's go. Let's go get a cup of tea on.